And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have this amazing, rich, creamy mushroom sauce for pasta, and we're using it on these ravioli. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone that we have an affiliate link with Chef's Temp. If you need a kitchen thermometer or meat probe, please check out the link in the description below and use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout for 15% off your order. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support us there, and in the meantime, here's our ingredients. So we've got our ravioli, one onion, some of our frozen pesto, some fresh basil, rosemary, and thyme, and 3 kinds of mushrooms. We've got cinnamon caps, chanterelles, and pio pino, as well as some heavy cream. We're also going to be using a small amount of Parmesan cheese. Now, for these kinds of mushrooms that have this kind of growth pattern, we do actually have to frequently wash them in water. Now, we're going to be sauteing these down a lot, so we're going to be cooking all that water back out of them, so it's not really going to be a big deal. It's not going to wreck the texture or anything. You can see our little onion. That's a cipollini onion in this one. You can use regular onion as well. So we're going to start with the chanterelles. They're pretty meaty, so we really want to start with them because they're going to take a little bit of extra time. So a little bit of salt on those and into our hot pan with butter. And you want to try and get the flat side down. And we want to sort of maintain the shape. We want to make sure that you can still see the beautiful shape and color of these when they're cooked. And the same for all of these other mushrooms. So these are the pio pino. And we're just going to cut these into sort of small pieces. If you find that the stem is quite woody, then that's fine. You can get rid of the stem. Same with the cinnamon caps. If you're finding a lot of the growth medium sort of stuck between the stems or whatever, you can just discard that. That's fine. You don't want that sort of grit and whatever in your final dish. So if you see the growth medium in there, just discard it. You don't want to hold on to that. So a little bit of black pepper on those, a little bit of salt, and those go into the pan with the chanterelles. And we're going to let these cook down for a long time. You can see some of the liquid already coming out of the chanterelles. It's now going to come out of the other mushrooms as well. And we want to make sure that these reduce a lot. Don't worry about crowding your pan too much with mushrooms. It will reduce a lot. You're going to cook a lot of that moisture out. So now for our cipollini onion, we're going to cut that in half and then sort of gently French cut it. We're going to take out the little root section first and then French cut that into little small pieces. And you don't have to be fancy about this. This is also going to cook down for a little while into the final part of the dish. And as we're adding it into the pan, you can see Chef Caleb here is just sort of breaking them up a little bit to make sure they're a little bit separated. If you don't quite get it all done at first, you can just reach in there. You can do it with a spatula as well. We want to let these sort of steam on top, and then we're going to stir it all together. And when it cooks down quite a lot, it starts to look like this. Then we're going to add our cream. Once it's down to this level, once it's all cooked down, you've got some nice color on those mushrooms, we're going to add in our cream. And once again, we're going to reduce this quite a bit. Now, this is our frozen pesto that we made quite some time ago. And we just freeze it into ice cube trays. And every time we need a little bit of pesto, we just take it out. And you see those beautiful fresh pesto in there. It's been frozen, but it still has a great flavor. And while that's reducing, we're going to get our pasta ready. So we are going to boil the ravioli in the pot there with the lid on. Salted water, of course. And then we're going to get our fresh herbs ready. So this is a little bit of thyme, basil, and rosemary. And we're just going to give that a light little chop. And this is going to go in right before serving. So this is as the sauce is coming off the heat. We're going to stir that in. And now our pasta is ready. So we're going to add that into the sauce. And if you want, you can add just a little dollop of the pasta boiling water as well. It sort of helps it coat a little bit better. So we're just going to add a little sort of dash of the boiling liquid in there. And you can see it all coming together. We've reduced that cream quite a lot. The mushrooms have all reduced. They've got a lot of flavor. At this point, we're going to toss in our fresh herbs as well as some fresh grated Parmesan or Romano. And that's going to add just a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of, a little richness as well in there. Not that it needs any extra richness with all that cream and the The ravioli is actually cheese ravioli, so it's already pretty rich, but you want that little sort of salty zing at the end. And from there, it's just ready to serve. So while it's still hot, you can see here it's still steaming hot. We're going to get everything onto our plates. You want to make sure you're generous with those mushrooms. The sauce is mostly mushrooms. They are delicious. And all these different textures between the chanterelles and the pio pino and the cinnamon cap are fantastic. Lots of great colors in there. Absolutely delicious, and we hope you'll give this one a try. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe. And if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd like to thank our patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to support us there, I will put a link in the description below for that. And remember to love your food.